Hello, hello. It's John Binnie. I'm a spiritual mentor based here in Scotland, and it's a real honor to give you an update. I'd like to record this podcast episode to give you some reflections over the journey I've been on over the last almost month, and the recent vision quest I've been on my tour around some of the central and northern Scotland. So let me give you a quick recap. As of the 30th of April, 2024, I left my corporate job and 26 years in the software industry. And now that I've left that corporate job, I've been exploring a whole new world. And this is a really beautiful experience to be able to step into this whole new world and really embrace my passions. So the reason I left was because I really want to help this whole world, help balance darkness and light, and help us claim our power back, help us all step into our aligned heart's passions. So what are the things that really align with our hearts? What are the things that we love doing in our lives? And often these are linked to our superpowers, our abilities to help others. And so my mission is to do this through three different primary ways. And the first is through mindfulness meditation. So I'm a qualified mindfulness meditation teacher. And I've been doing that in large companies and also online, and for a whole range of different purposes, and a lot of it focusing around stress and anxiety and burnout, so reducing those in the workplace and in our lives. The second is I've just completed the final assessment for my reflexology course, so complementary therapy, really hands-on foot massage, helping people again with stress and anxiety, but many more other conditions. And then also thirdly, my more metaphysical and psychic development work. So I do a lot of one-to-one sessions, quantum healing, past life regression, helping people connect with their spirit guides, and also learn how to do things like energy clearing, healing and protection, and more advanced topics through to psychic work, mediumship, and speaking light language, and many things beyond that. And I've also been running training courses, doing that for the last few months, since January. And I just passed recently my 300th client session. So that was just a really beautiful milestone in that journey. So let me share with you what it's like being on the other side of this previous paradigm that I was in. I've felt really liberated and just really excited. There's ups and downs, right? So I think by day 5 or 6, I started to experience some of the kind of the other side, like the darker side of freedom, which is, I can imagine if I was in a prison, and then if I was there for many years and I stepped outside, sometimes it's a bit overwhelming when you receive all this opportunity. There's so many things to choose to do. I have a to-do list. I have services that I've just explained. I have a huge amount of ideas for work to do. And I have a process to be able to pick up the next thing, to feel into my intuition each morning, to look at my prioritized to-do list, to focus on what are the biggest customer problems I can really help tackle today and really help my customers. And yet, at the same time, some of those feelings are like, wow, I've been quite used to people at points telling me what to do, or having constraints that in some respects, those constraints felt like a comfortable prison. Even if there's a constraint about, there's certain things you couldn't do in a company because that was someone else's job. And those things are, it's totally understandable. But at the same time, when it's your job to do something, when you take on and start building your own business, you're really able to step into a universe where all those things can be your responsibility, and you just get to choose what's the most important thing to tackle next, and feel into that. And I love that. Like I really embrace that new way of working. I also knew that there was a period of time where I wanted to go through adjustment, and May is very much that month for me. I did write my future vision, so a vision of what it is I wanted to achieve. So this part that I was mentioning at the beginning about balancing darkness and light for both the planet and the whole universe. This is a calling that I feel I'm guided to connect with, and to help bring my services to be able to help others. And for that reason, I also documented that vision, and it's called My Future Vision, and FAQs, my frequently asked questions. And if you go on my homepage of johnbinnie.com, you can see in the text there's a little link to that vision. And so you can click on that and read it freely. It's so important to me that as a mentor, as a teacher, as a guide, that I am as transparent about both what I want for my future in my life and for my work as well. And so this is why I wrote this vision. I feel like it's a great way for people to read it and to get a sense of both where my intentions are and where I am going, and at the same time whether that resonates with you. Like, is it something that feels right for you? Do the problems that I'm describing in my vision resonate with you? And I expect into next month I'll also do some I continue to revise that vision continually, which I think is also really good. It's like the actual document I work from each day. So you literally get to see like inside my mind and inside my intentions. And it's not just business, right? It's like family life. Like, how do I make it sustainable? How do I put myself first and fill my cup before I can then go and help others? Because when we work in these domains of being in service to others, it's so important that we fill our own self-love and our own abundance first. Otherwise, as I found out, it's a bit like traveling around in a camper van with no supplies and then inviting people in for coffees. And if you don't have anything, there's nothing there left to give. So that's a really powerful lesson. So on that segue, I'd like to talk a little bit about my vision quest. So for the first few weeks of May, I was really focusing on my reflexology foot massage. And I continue to do that work. So in fact, whilst the final assessment's completed, I have about another 50 hours or 50 treatments to do to complete the qualification. But it's just a journey that just continues forever, right? So it's clinical reflexology. It's very in depth. I get to feel into the conditions that both people describe themselves and that also manifest through the reflexes. So these are the nerve endings from all your organs and every part of your body. They come out through your hands and through your feet. And I typically focus on the feet, helping understand like where the different techniques that I've learned, and these techniques go back thousands of years, are able to help the person in that moment, in either in one session or in multiple sessions. And it's so rewarding seeing people come in and experience such positive benefits, both relaxation, but then also everything from like back pain to stress and anxiety, menopausal, perimenopausal symptoms, just a wide range of symptoms that the treatment can really help with. And now that my essays are all done for it and my case studies submitted, my focus of energy is I'll continue to reflexology about 1 to 2 days a week. I continue to volunteer at hospice, St. Columba's every Monday, and doing reflexology there. In the remaining time, last week, so it was just over a week ago that we completed the end of the reflexology course, and I sang them a song, and which you may have seen, and really enjoyed sharing it with everybody, and like having a great positive send off. After that, I decided I'd go on a vision quest. And so you may have seen me asking for people who are interested in me visiting them. And I describe it as my world tour. It's a world tour that it never ends. It is just me going on adventures anywhere in the world, wherever I'm invited. And either I can afford myself or people are welcome to pay for my travel, and I'll come and visit you. But yeah, I think I managed to see about 5 people over the last 3 days around Scotland. And I also have a long list. I think I've got about 20 people in the UK, and then maybe close to 50 across the US and Canada and Netherlands. I think there's other countries too. Apologies if I've forgotten you, but I have a list. I have your names. I have your details. I have a list. And yeah, certainly, if you're interested in me visiting you, just let me know, and I'll add you in. And so I went on this vision quest, and by vision quest I mean you're not sure what the question is, you're not sure what the answer is, but you know that you're called to make space, to go on a journey, and it's a journey inward, right? Yes, there's travel outwardly involved, but it's not the places that I go to on a vision quest that are as important as the reflections I'm able to receive internally. And so when I went, I got my camper van all up and running. If you've been watching videos, I managed to get my water tank all sorted out, and it's fantastic. It's like what a life changer. Having loads of water in abundance is fantastic for traveling. And yeah, the first day I was in the Edinburgh area, and that was really beautiful. I got to meet someone that has been a member for a while now, and of my membership group, the Highest Self membership group. And we've met quite a few times online, so it was great to meet in person, and I really enjoyed it. And I got to find out all about their journey and their, the frustrations in the journey. A lot of these themes, resonate with me, like if you feel stuck where you are, like you plateaued some way, that you'd love to find your tribe, like you'd love to find, people that resonate with your journey, with your vibe at this time, and being able to find a teacher, a mentor, that you resonate with, that you trust, that you feel is transparent, and that you'd like to work with them. And yeah, I got to ask lots of questions, including what do you think of the meditations that I share, and how they're presented on my website, and got some tips about, ideas for being able to download them so that you could watch them offline some way, or at least be able to turn your phone into flight mode, and you wouldn't have to be pestered by notifications while you're meditating. And also some ideas about some of the themes of training courses. And I just really enjoyed that aspect also. And a big change for me is doing more in person, and so building more of a community in the area that I live, and doing more events in person is really exciting. There is so much you can do around the world. Almost everything you can do. You can't hug someone and say hello when you're doing it remotely, and the conversation is very free flowing when you're face to face. The sessions that I've done face to face, and some of them are online, they are also very powerful. The energy, I'd say the breadth of the energy in energy healing, or past life regression, or talking with spirit guides, all these things can be much more of a shared experience. So yeah, I'm going to be doing more of that, and I've already got an in-person session booked in, so excited for that. I also traveled up to Dollar, which is a small town near the central Scotland, and I stayed overnight next to Campbell Castle, a very famous castle in Scotland. And it was just magical, like such a magical place. I had fantastic sleep, beautiful walks. There's you can watch the videos on my channel on YouTube or here on Instagram. And I think there's more on YouTube because some of the longer videos are on YouTube. So feel free to check that out. You can see the link in my profile page. And there was a beautiful experience of just going back to like, I was there between age 2 and 5. This is, according to me, I haven't asked my parents like to clarify the age, but it's about that time because we moved house a lot. So I remember like I could pretty much date things within a year or two, depending on how old I was, depending on which house we were living in. And I saw the cottage that we renovated and the space where we had a caravan and lived in it for, I think, around 10 months. And through all the beauty of the area and all the memories that came back of my school, where I lived, nursery, the friends that I had, the stories that we shared, the adventures playing in fields, the things we did in the area as a family, all those things were fabulous. And there was this theme building up, and it was like to the point of like a vision quest. Like I didn't know the question. I knew the question was something like, what do I need to experience to be able to help lay the foundations for my new life, prepare me for this next this transition I'm going through just now, and then going into building my own business in June. And the message was really quite simple but very profound, which was I was being shown a time in my life before I entered all of this educational and kind of Western cultural programming. And by that I mean, the conditioning that we go through education, through nursery and education with my parents, with the society that I lived in, and I was feeling into more what it was like prior to those kind of institutionalizations, like before I was welcomed to the machine. And that was really, really beautiful because I had very vivid memories prior to age 2, so age 1 and 2, of being able to see things like my parents would describe it as like an imaginary friend, but for me it was very much a vivid experience having like a dolphin as what they called imaginary friend, but it was called a dolphin called Buckle, but he was actually really a spirit guide to me and like helping me, when I woke up in this life, when I was born, experience like around the age of 1 and 2, this very tangible, visceral being, and to the extent that I would like when we had dinner, I would like pull out a chair and say, "Oh, that's where Buckle the dolphin sits." And I remember my siblings and parents would be like, "There's nothing there." It's like, and I would say, "You can't say that," and they would grow to like entertain the notion. They thought it was really funny, and I really loved it. But it was like, for me, it was a real experience of going back to those times in my life where now, age 47, I'm like going back to those points in my life before, like prior to my conditioning and programming. And what's also, I think the kind of second part of this journey has been the acceptance of all of the spectrum of things that I am now. And so not to ignore or to exclude or anyway put down the 26 years I had in software engineering and artificial intelligence, because that experience is super valuable as well, because it's real life. It's like this real world, it's what people are still living and breathing. And it's what people, many of us feel that, we have to do these things to put food on the table and to a roof over our heads. And what I found was, as I went to I traveled up to a little village. It's about an hour and a half north of Dollar. Again, kind of in the upper central belt of Scotland, and visited this beautiful stone circle. So there's this really lovely video that I've shared as well. I think it's on Instagram too, but excuse me, if not, it's on YouTube. And you'll see there me exploring the stone circle and very much just receiving those psychic and energetic messages from the stones, the purpose of why they're there, why they're created, what they're doing now, what their future purpose is. And I felt very free, very liberated. Sometimes I feel in the past, I felt very self-conscious about sharing these intuitions or messages or abilities. And it felt so good to be able to visit like a stone circle where I just felt like it felt normal to me. It felt normal to be able to walk in a stone circle, share my experiences, and have it feel very physical. Stone circles are very physical. In fact, someone had put seeds down in the center, one of the center circles. And I remember this intuition I was receiving that you can put seeds around standing stones or stone circles to help germinate the seeds. Like it brings up the electromagnetic energy from under the Earth's crust. And so it can really help you grow great crops. And I love that. It's just a very physical thing. And so after that, I traveled back to Dollar, stayed the night there next to Castle Campbell in my camper van. And then I came down to Edinburgh. I met up with a dear friend in Edinburgh, and we went for lunch. And that was also very profound. And I'm not going to share, the situation of their lives at this point, but it was very, I just describe it's very kind of humbling and again profound, but it really helped me. It reminded me a lot of the work that I do at the hospice, where you realize how important your loved ones are, how important you're treating each day like you might not be able to speak to or see your loved ones again tomorrow. And then also like that, like filling your own cup, looking after yourself, filling yourself with all your passions and your joy and excitement. And just like those memories of being, a child at the age of 5 before I went to school was also remembering that, remembering just this infinite joy. I remember all the things I wanted to do, like be a spaceman or a fireman, or I don't think being a computer software manager was in there, or a spiritual mentor, or any of these other things that I do now. But just feeling like, if you put your mind to it, you can become any of these things that you're passionate about. And these are the things that are important to me in my life now, more than ever. And then there's this acknowledgement. So in this vision quest, this acknowledgement that the journey that I've had of 26 years in software is there's this linear progression for me, or an exponential progression, which is that experience helped me live day in, day out, feeling that I wasn't good enough. And this was me making myself feel like this, that I wasn't good enough, that I was highly stressed, I was highly anxious. And about 2 years ago, if I hadn't gone part-time in that job, I would have suffered more health-wise. I probably would have been off sick, and I would have struggled to keep my life together. And those experiences are hugely valuable for me, because not just my own personal experiences, but the experiences I've seen others go through and continue to see others go through makes me want to help, makes me want to be able to help people, help them develop their own practices that will help them take back the control in their life, take back the ability to fill their own cups first and put their self-love and self-care first over and above anything. Because when you do that, you can earn as much money as you want following your passion. You just need to believe in yourself. You need to free yourself from these conditions and constraints that you place yourself in, and stop externalizing things like, patterns of externalizing our productivity, saying, if I do, my day's work, if I complete that by the end of today, then I'm a good person, that I love myself. Like, that is so dangerous, because, there's often good reason why you can't or shouldn't finish all the things you set out to do at the start of the day, and becoming much more flexible and fluid, and exploring those very expansive opportunities the universe is throwing at you every day, helping you, discern and choose what you want to feel into each day. And at the end of each day, reflecting on the fantastic things you have done, despite the challenges that you overcame, and despite sometimes people's lack of belief or understanding in what you're doing. It doesn't matter as long as you love what you're doing. And so, I feel very much guided to work to help people in the workplace as well. So reflexology is a hands-on complementary. Therapy is very good. I also want to do more with mindfulness and meditation, and to help people really focus on, bringing a space into their lives each day where there's at least this oasis where, even if it's just 10 minutes, where you feel calm and relaxed and you feel like yourself. That helped save me in some of my toughest times, some of my highest anxiety, when I was doing like 5 people's jobs at the same time, and I was working crazy hours, and I was just working to survive each day. Having that meditation for 10 minutes each day, like, it's free. You can do it as many times as you want. You can focus the meditation on any particular task you want, whether it's self-organization, self-care, being calm, visualizing being in a place like down by the sea, like whatever brings you that calm and that joy. Meditation can be hugely powerful for. And so, I'm excited to do that. And then also, I'm being guided to combine some of these things. So I think it's over 20, I'm trying to count. It's over 20 years I've been in software management. It must be close to about 23 years, because I went into management quite early on. I know that there's times in my career I could have done a lot better. Like, I could have been more human. And although I gained a lot of reputation latterly, probably in the last, 10, maybe 15 years of being, very empathetic and mindful and conscious leader, manager, I wasn't always like that. And we're human. We're not always perfect, right? And I feel that those elements of mindfulness, including, having a clear vision, like setting yourself up for success with your self-love and your self-care practices, feeling with your high value judgment, your intuition each day, like feeling into the things that are really important for you to focus on, and being human to everyone else. And it's your customers, it's your team, your staff, your colleagues, your company, the levels above and below you, like still being that kind, compassionate human, at the same time having like strong boundaries, like knowing your work-life balance, knowing when you want to stop each day to achieve a sustainable life. All these different aspects, starting to look at some ways to be able to teach that and partner with a dear friend to be able to do this in other companies. So that's really exciting. So I'm getting ready. I haven't been doing it yet, but I'm getting ready into next week. So by Friday next week, I'll start so that'll be June, or May 31st, and then into June, I will be really starting my own business. And you can already sign up for my Higher Self Foundational Training course. And that starts on the 8th of July. It's an 8-week course, and it covers like a broad range of things. It starts right at the beginning of mindfulness. So literally need no like previous experience. And we go through mindfulness meditations, what I call spirit guide meditations. They're the meditations I do each day and are also available free on my website. We go into like manifesting our dream lives, doing our inner shadow work, so all those fears and anxieties that we have, like finding them and then working out how to address them. We go through the practical actions that you can do to be able to help, focus on those and heal and integrate them and find that right balance for you between your own darkness and light. And then we also do work with quantum energy healing and protection. So we start right at the beginning if you've never done anything like this before. And it's not like anything else. I've learned it on the job over 300 client sessions. I've never studied Reiki or similar things. I believe that they sound similar. I've never studied them, but I have taught many people that have been that are Reiki masters, and they said they really enjoy my quantum energy healing. There are some similarities, but I also help you get up close and talk to your spirit guides as well. And so that's a very intimate thing for each person. And it's incredible to see everyone in the class like connect with like 8 beings, from all around the galaxy and from the universe and even Earth. And all these things come together, right? Like you can use all these different abilities day in, day out in your day-to-day lives, in your business, in your personal life, in your health. And we also finish some of the advanced topics as well, all the way up to the early stages of being able to practice speaking light language, which is a really beautiful expression. If you've ever heard me talk like a dragon, or at least I think it sounds like a dragon, then that's my dragon light language. You'll hear me speaking. There's also later towards the end of July and into August, the Next Level Up course, which is coming, which is the intermediate training. I'm doing lots more one-to-one sessions, which is really beautiful. And they're quantum healing sessions, so past life regression, helping do chakra scans and healing right now in this present moment, helping people find out their soul missions and their future lives. And I had an incredible session last night. It's called the Spirit Guide. It's like Meet Your Spirit Guides. And it's a very intense session, one-to-one, where we get up close and personal with each of your guides and find out all about their abilities. Why are they working with you in this lifetime? Like, what are they doing? How do you work with them? And how often you have shared abilities? Like, how do you take that ability and use it for something useful in your life? Everything has to have some sort of purpose and reason to exist in our lives, even if we don't quite understand it to begin with. A bit like me when I started my quantum energy healing and started learning it on the job several years ago now. So yeah, that's really exciting service. And so yeah, you can check them all out on my website. And very soon I'll also be doing more in-person sessions, and you'll see my reflexology offering on my website. Still in training mode, but I'll be doing sessions in Edinburgh, and I offer a mobile service just now. I'll be hiring a room, so you'll see more to come on that, about where it will be and how you can book me in for that. So yeah, super excited to share just some of these things as I get started in my new journey. And if you have any questions, I always love, like even right now, you can put them in the chat. But I really love receiving questions. I've had quite a few videos recently, or podcasts where people have just been asking quite challenging questions like, what is lucid dreaming? Or, how do I deal with ghosts? Or, what are my beliefs on being able to strengthen your connection with the source, with the source of love of this universe? Or you might call that God, or whatever your own individual beliefs are. So these are just some of the themes I've covered recently. But yeah, if you're interested in asking a question, feel free to DM me, comment on a video, and or drop me an email at info@johnbinnie.com. Anywho, thank you so much for coming along. I'm going to start my Saturday. I've got pretty much a free day and just a session tonight with a client in the US, a quantum healing session. And looking forward to going to a retreat at Dalkeith Country Park tomorrow, which is a day's retreat with two beautiful souls who I know and have worked with, who are running it. And I'm also catching up with the Mindfulness Now meditation teacher training course participants who I met last October. So it'd be fantastic to meet up with them. That's a session that's open to the public. I'm not sure if they're still taking bookings, but feel free to just search up the Dalkeith Country Park Restoration Yard retreat and you'll see it there. And I look forward to running my own retreats soon as well. So have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for watching. Sending so much love from Scotland. Take care. Love you.